What's up, guys? Chris VA Travels. Got a good one today. Visiting the home of our fourth president, James Madison, the father of the Constitution. And it's going to be a good one. We're going to be visiting his giant Georgian mansion. We've got gardens, plenty of outbuildings, his cemetery to look at. So yeah, it's going to be a good video. And also want to give a shout out to Jeremy Burtz, new Patreon subscriber. Appreciate your support. And talk about a good view. Imagine walking out and seeing this every morning. Yeah, a little hidden by the haze, but you've got the Blue Ridge Mountains back there and the DuPont family horse track that they had built right in front of us. Wow, very impressive house. Portico really stands out. Fat Doric columns holding it up. Medallions all around. And I see we've got a hipped roof. External chimneys. 1797, 30-foot extension in the portico was added. And in 1809, a drawing room was added in the two wings. And then you would fast forward all the way until 1901, when there were more upgrades. The size of the house, if you can believe this, almost tripled. The DuPont family purchased the home in 1901. Yeah, this thing was huge. I'll also tell you, at one time, it was stuccoed and it was pink while the DuPonts owned it. But yeah, as soon as this tour group moves on, I'm gonna go up and get a closer look. Check out this wing. Lunette windows down there. So we've got an English basement. And yeah, that portico impediment. Oh, in Montpelier, Mont being a French word for hill. And yeah, I think he was trying to copy Thomas Jefferson. Monticello, of course, about 25 miles away in Charlottesville. This land was acquired by his grandfather. That would be Ambrose Madison. He's the one who had the house built, again completed 1765. He had acquired a deed from the King of England, and actually had acquired it a couple decades prior, because the first house on the property was called Mount Pleasant, and kind of on the other side of those trees near the, I think the cemetery's over there. Visitor center's kind of in that direction. But yeah. Lived there for a couple decades. Oh, and Ambrose was apparently murdered by his slaves. He was poisoned. But so the house was passed on to James Madison Sr. And then when he passed away, of course, passed on to James Madison Jr., our president. He was the oldest son. That would be in 1801. James Madison lived here almost his entire life. He moved here when he was a child. He was actually born out in King George County, where Belle Grove sits. His mother had gone out there to be with her family while she gave birth. So in 1836, when James dies, the house was passed on to Dolly, and she ended up selling it and moving up to DC. It was sold in 1844 to Henry Moncure. And I have to see, is he related to the Moncures in the Falmouth-Fredericksburg area? Anyway, but after that, it passed through several different owners up until 1901. As I had mentioned, it was acquired by the DuPont family. That would be William and Annie. And after William died, the house was passed on to Marion DuPont, and she lived here forever, all the way until 1983. She was childless, so she ended up bequeathing the property to the Historic Preservation. But yeah, after the Historic Preservation acquired the house, they downsized it and made it to look as it did during James Madison's retirement years. So that'd be early 1800s. Oh yeah, you can really see the hipped roof from back here, colonnade going across the back porch. And again, 3 times the size when the DuPonts owned it. That's insane. And random side note, Marian's brother William, who grew up here, he's the father of John DuPont, the eccentric son who ended up killing the wrestler. If anybody saw the movie Foxcatcher, the Olympic wrestler Dave Schultz. Yeah, so pretty wild. Oh, back behind the house to the left, we've got some restrooms. And I'm gonna walk over and take a look at this temple. And it looks like they're doing some work. I don't know if they're doing an archaeology dig. Can't quite tell yet. Good assortment of trees, several white pines over here. All right, so here's the temple. And you see the triglyphs up there on the frieze. Little dentals right above them. And it looks like they stripped the stucco off one of the pillars, just to give you an idea of what it looked like. And yeah, I can't tell if they're doing repairs or is it archaeology work. I'll find out in a moment. But yeah, the temple was built in 1810, and it was supposed to be the entrance to the ice house. All right. Oh, all right, so there's a ladder going down there, so. Yeah, archaeology staff, his shirt says. Have some stuff they found. Yeah, that's it for the temple. It says in 1801, James Madison inherited full control of the estate and explored various ways to remake the landscape according to his own tastes. And yeah, this would have all been frontier back in 1765 when the land was deeded. Let me go ahead and take the house tour, and then I'll check out the outbuildings, the gardens, in the graveyard. All right, let's see what's inside Montpelier. And I grabbed what footage I could. I was in a really crowded tour group, but the study here, Madison's mother often read to him while he was in this room. And this is where he prepared for his education at Princeton, College of New Jersey at the time. Back at the main entrance door. Onto a more formal room. And lady up there to the right is Mary Magdalene. And of course we've got James and Dolly down below. The room is laid out in a French style. Our first four presidents. And check out the wall fabric back there. Above the fireplace, a commemorative copy of the Declaration of Independence. And this goes back to the early 1800s. And yeah, a nice gilded clock. Like I say, very strong French Empire theme in the room. This contraption would produce electricity when you cranked it, just enough for a small shock. Large painting of Christ at Emmaus. Bust of all the founding fathers. And they say originally they think they were spread all throughout the house. Painting back here with a more pagan theme.
On to the dining room, and everyone's favorite, Marquis de Lafayette, at the head of the table, French aristocrat who voluntarily helped us out during the American Revolution. Yeah, friends with Madison. Paul Jennings, Madison's body servant, non-paid body servant, but later in life became an author, wrote a colored man's reminiscence of James Madison, gained his freedom from Senator Daniel Webster. Webster purchased him, and Jennings paid him back in work. I know, still kind of sounds like slavery. Again, more in the French Empire style. Dolly sat at the head of the table. Unfortunately, didn't get a clip of her. But she was widowed before she met James, had 2 children, and the youngest son, an infant named William, and her first husband died the same day. Yeah, just a couple hours apart. Yellow fever had swept through Philadelphia. The oldest son, John Payne Todd, survived. Oh, and another side note, after Dolly was widowed, she ran a boarding house with her mother, and Aaron Burr lived at the boarding house, but they say there was no romantic relationship between the two. But Aaron did introduce her to James. Socialite Margaret Baird Smith, writer and political commentator, and she wrote a biographical profile on Dolly Madison. It was published in the National Portrait Gallery of Distinguished Americans. Great collection of silver. Andrew Jackson has visited Montpelier. He came to discuss tariffs. Small side office along the hallway here. Pretty busy secretary. Stack of cloth maps on top. Yeah, decorated with some finials, rosettes. Columbian Sentinel, a Massachusetts Federalist newspaper. Out of Boston, of course. On the other side, a storage room, all your fancy dishes. Room back here with the bed was originally the library. When the house was expanded, library was moved upstairs, then kind of became the ladies' parlor. This is where the women would retire after dinner. Kind of random. Exotic parrot back here. And James Madison, famously the only president to have never left the country, never took the trip to Europe because of his lifelong ill health. Looks like we've got a desk in every room. On to Madison's bedroom. This is where he passed away, June 28, 1826. Friends had suggested he take stimulants to make it until July 4th, but he refused. And really ill towards the end of his life, weighed less than 100 pounds on his deathbed. Although still mentally sharp, a rich stream of history, one observer had said. Yeah, you'd think he was well traveled with all these pictures of foreign animals. And an old map of Washington City. Jefferson Fry map, definitive map of Virginia during the 18th century, made in part by Thomas's father, Peter Jefferson. Tall back on this thing, obviously not made for the 5'4" Madison. Made it upstairs to the guest bedroom, in pretty busy room as they had visitors all the time. As a matter of fact, all the rooms on the second floor were bedrooms except for the library. As you see, really well furnished. Thomas Jefferson wrote in letters that he loved staying in this bedroom. He liked to go out onto the north portico, have his wine, and look at the mountains. Here's the famous library. And this isn't necessarily where Madison wrote the Constitution. It's where he spent about a year studying up for it. 1786 into 87, researched books on ancient republics of the world, Rome, Greece, and focused in on how they governed themselves, what worked and what didn't work. This room's dedicated to the construction of the house. Check out all the lath and plaster. That's supposed to be a sketch of Montpelier on the brick. End of a candle extinguisher. And you can see all three layers of plaster: scratch coat, brown coat, and white coat. Finally, second bedroom up here, and just a handful of rope beds. Several rope beds. I guess you could fit an entire family in here. And great view. And this is where the servants ate. Giant transom window on the back door here. Check out some of the artwork in the hallway. Daniel Webster on the left, Henry Clay on the right. Nellie Madison, James's mother. The painting is called Roman Charity, and this is a prisoner being fed by his daughter. He's a political prisoner that was being starved to death. The jailer sees this, takes pity on him, and then releases him. Lamentation over the Dead Christ by Giovanni Bellini.
Okay, and back here, a couple more walnut trees. Outbuilding right here, I'm not sure what this was. Well ventilated, obviously. Kind of random, we've got a fire hydrant. But yeah, plenty of outbuildings. Would have been a bustling area. And it looks like this is the south yard. Building right here was built in the early 1750s, and it was a starter home for James Madison's parents. They lived here with their growing family until the original portion of the main building was completed, again, 1765. And then in 1809, repurposed to a kitchen. All right, let's walk inside. Oral history says that Corinne was the cook, and this is her great-great-great-great-granddaughter, Betty. Okay, so giant hearth on this thing. This is tortoise ware right here, in a tortoise pattern. All right, so we've got a map of the south yard right here. Again, the kitchen. Behind it is the west smokehouse, and behind that is the southwest quarters. And then to the left back there, the southeast quarters, the east smokehouse, and the north quarter right here. And we're under this giant walnut. Might hear a couple loud pops. So here we are, okay. People come in many colors. All right, yeah, talking about the enslaved that lived here, and here are the names. There's Corinne right there, the cook. And yeah, just talking about the plantation. And shows what they did behind the scenes, setting the table for meals. Okay, and the different chores. Yeah, wore linens, made bricks. That smokehouse right here. And I thought they might have some meats hanging from the ceiling. Okay, more about slavery it looks like. Another smokehouse. They had two smokehouses, okay. Just for one family, but I guess a lot of enslaved lived here. Okay, so some stuff on slavery right here, it looks like. Oh, all right, we'll check this structure out in a minute, but this is the slave quarters. And check this out, the tailors. All right, so there's a loft up here. Let me, I guess I can poke my head up here. Oh, wow, they've got speakers, and look at that cot right there.
I am the Lord your God.
Wow.
I am the Lord
Slept on the floor.
your God.
Almost kind of like a studio apartment. I guess you have a bed right there, a dinner table, cooking table, and a decent sized hearth on this thing. There's your dresser. And these things were usually duplexes. Oh, circa 1815 they were built. And I guess Madison would have been off in DC at this time. Each button is different. And it's to say that each member of the enslaved community was a unique individual with a distinct personality. Paul Jennings was his main man, kind of similar to a Billy Washington. And yeah, took care of Madison almost his entire life. It says no access. I'm not going to walk up there. But was with him on his deathbed. Same thing, 1815. Yeah, blue willow right there. Okay, so the Stewarts lived in here. That would be Ellen, Benjamin, and Sarah. Yeah, descendants over here. Yeah, you can walk up this one. A couple hogsheads up here. Another speaker. Check out this
Matthew,
window
hold those
latch.
things against that wall. Always.
All right, I'll pop in here. All right, so it looks like Sawney, they're saying, is lived in here. And he was about the same age as Madison. Pretty nice mosaic right here, by the way. He accompanied Madison when he went to Princeton, and then became overseer and managed livestock and growing of tobacco and wheat. And this is a stable quarter. See what's in here. And actually, that's a pretty gnarly tree right there. And actually, there's another to my right. What is that thing? I see acorns on it. Some sort of oak. All right, let's see what this is. Yeah, something oak. English oak. All right. Huh. And yeah, that thing's been around for a minute. Pretty thick trunk. Yeah, a couple English oaks. Let's see what this says. All right, so it says this is the stable quarter, and it's saying that may have been the home of gardener named Joe or a carriage driver named Sam. All right, so some information on the archaeology work. And there was a subfloor pit here and some ceramics and personal items that they found. Talking about Alec the Wagner. And in the 1820s and 1830s, it traveled to several locations, frequently to Fredericksburg and Richmond, transporting barrels of flour or tobacco to merchants at these trade centers. Very knobby, gnarly tree. Yeah, and check out this cedar up on the hill here. I don't know if that's a white cedar. It's kind of big. I don't know, but I pulled out my plant app on my phone. Japanese yew right here. And next to it, Lawson cypress. I wouldn't have guessed this was a cypress, but I've got the green right here. And wow, some leaves falling off these walnuts. But all right, so check out the cemetery. Good shot from back here. Presidential Gardens. And take a look at this sign. Yeah, they just finished up. Ton of walnut trees on the property. Anyway, all right, so a paradise of roses and flowers. Walk through the gate. And the Annie DuPont formal garden. And the original garden was a lot larger. And it's a formal garden, but also a garden used by the kitchen. Probably an herb garden as well. All right, go through this alley of hedges. First off, check out the back of this cool gate. Let me veer off to the left here. We're right at the end of July, so we missed the peak season. Things don't look too bad. Lots of lamb's ear. rosettes on the scrolls there. Egg and dart up top, a little tulip in the middle. Oh, lots of birds back here. Well, that's a tiny bird right there. I don't know what that thing is. All right, so it looks like to the right, it's gonna be pretty similar. Oh, okay, opens up down here. Get a closer look at some of these vases. Pretty nice one right here. Got your lavender over here. A few butterflies out. And this is a 5-seeded plume poppy. Oh, we've got some lions here flanking the stairs. This guy looks pretty sad. These are called balloon flowers. And this yellow tansy. All right, so you can see the veins in them pretty good right there. And is there a, I thought there was a walking path in there, but there's not. Hydrangeas down here. Catch these. Well, any bird watchers might enjoy coming out here. I know John DuPont, the murderer, he was a bird watcher and he wrote a book on it just randomly. I just thought about that. So I don't know if that ran in the DuPont family. Yeah, a couple bees out here. Some good stuff down there. Yeah, check this out. Some of this little elephant ear over here. And this is a pretty good display. And this is coleus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's see what this is. Oh, coleus as well. Huh. Whole wall of hydrangeas over here. On the other side, pretty much a mirror image of what we just saw. More of this coleus. And this elephant ear plant, it's called taro. All right, pretty nice. Oh, big old butterfly. And down here, 1992, Montpelier, the restored walled garden. I see the bird making that noise. Yeah, this giant white cedar, it's actually called a deodar cedar, providing plenty of shade. But time to exit the walled garden. Pretty cool arch right here. Marble arch. So we've got some trails you can walk. Oh, another little kind of garden right there. But I'm gonna take a left. Oh, all right, so map of the walking trail. And you see here we are in the center. It doesn't look like what is, okay, so we've got a bridge. Yeah, so I don't know if that's worth walking, but anyway, here's the map for anybody interested in hiking the trail. Okay, and we've got this Civil War loop that's only a mile, walking the footsteps of McGowan's Brigade on the 1 mile Montpelier Civil War Trail, which winds through the archaeological remains of a Confederate winter camp. Oh, wow. The trail also connects to the farm of George Gilmore. Oh, yeah, I have actually visited that. All right, so I've been there, actually. Who, after being freed by emancipation, became a farmer and landowner, building his cabin on the site of an abandoned Confederate hut. All right. The building says in 1909 on the top. Boy, another walnut tree over there. And it's overcast now, feels good. There's a twisty trunk on this thing. All right, I just want to see what this sign says. Montpelier Education Center. I'm just gonna make sure this isn't some sort of museum or something. I'm almost positive it's not, but get a closer look. All right, yeah, it says no public access, but anyway, built in 1909. Slate tiles. Another shot of the barn. And that hayloft up top, it's way up there. Yeah, guys, that's either gonna be a robin or a mockingbird. I mean, I'm not an expert on bird sounds, but oh, and over here we've got an Osage orange. Yeah, you don't see those too often. And you'd think it'd be closer to the house. But yeah, these aren't indigenous to the area. Yeah, check it out. They're from the Midwest. And I had read one source that they think Johnny Appleseed might have brought them back. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, talking about when it was a tobacco complex. And yeah, you would have had tobacco fields all around. So I'm seeing cabins off to the left, and there must be a trail, because I believe I see a plaque. But yeah, you would guess slave cabins, and I imagine those would be the field hands, because I think the cabins that we saw earlier are for the house workers. Yeah, I think I see the graveyard up there. Oh, and right in this area is where the Mount Pleasant sat, James's grandfather Ambrose's home that he built in 1732. And right here, it says, we have no drawings or descriptions of Mount Pleasant, but the archaeological record is well preserved. Excavations revealed the remains of the main house, a kitchen, and a slave quarter. And this is an artist's conception of Mount Pleasant. There are no drawings or descriptions, but excavations show the remains of a main house, a kitchen, and a slave quarter. So, yeah, Blue Ridge back there. And this is talking about the Knights of the Golden Horseshoe expedition led by Alexander Spotswood, and they kind of mapped out the western portion of the state. And okay, there were 12 members of the gentry, 30 enslaved, and Native American guides. Yeah, so they mapped out all the rivers and mountains and whatnot out west. Yeah, all right, so it looks like the overseer's home was in the area. And yeah, looks like they've done a lot of excavations. Oh, well, I'm gonna take a wild guess and think this, guess this big one to the right is gonna be our fourth president, James Madison. Going back to 1720. Wow, okay, and this was made in Richmond. Madison Family Cemetery, restored through the vision and generosity of the Virginia Daughters of the American Revolution. And I always have to mention my Aunt Nancy is a member of them. Okay. I'm gonna go right to it. Yeah, 1751, this is him. Died June 28th, almost died on July 4th. 3 of the early presidents, Adams, Jefferson, and Monroe, all died July 4th. And Madison almost matched him. But yeah, quite an obelisk. Looks like a child buried here. And Mary Willis. I can't make out the dates. Born, yeah, I can't make that out. I guess I could find her, I'll find a grave. But over here, John H. Lee, born 1829. And yeah, oh, died, okay, 1859. So just 30 years old, if I'm reading that correctly. More of the Willis family right behind him. Nellie Ross, daughter of John and Mary Willis. Oh, all right, she died young also, 1875, so 1817, I guess. And over here, Frank Carson, and I can't make that out. I believe I say 1881 written on there. But yeah, you see more walnuts. Nellie Ross, daughter of John and Mary Willis, born 1875. Oh, died young also. Died 1817. Okay. Over here, Frank Carson. I can't make that out. I am seeing 1881, I believe. Kind of over here by himself. Yeah. I don't see any other Carsons in the immediate area, but this one over here, been put back together, being held up. And let's see who this is. All these have footstones. And Thomas Macon. Something of James Madison Sr. It says daughter, but I mean, it says Thomas, but I don't know. But over here, this also says Thomas Macon, but I'm seeing 1838. So would this be his son? I believe born 1795. I don't know, but over here, Lucy Macon, wife of Reuben Conway, and James's mother, Nellie Conway family, out of King George, as I mentioned, Port Conway, right along the Rappahannock, where James was born. But Reuben Conway, born 1788, died 1838. This stands out. So John Willis, born at Whitehall. And yet Willises were one of Virginia's first families. Gloucester down there, between the Rappahannock and the York River. But 1774, died 1811, so died a little young. Okay, so Montpelier burial ground for the enslaved. All right, let's see what's down here. I almost thought that was part of the horse track, but it's not. Oh, tickets are $36 for an adult, and it's best to buy beforehand. Whoa, ha, bug landed on my shirt. It's best to buy beforehand online, as they quite often sell out. So, all right, guys, this slave graveyard better be not too much further because I'm walking farther and farther from the parking lot. But yeah, I see a sign here. Yeah, Montpelier burial grounds for the enslaved. All right, so here it is, but I believe it's roped off. So maybe they're doing archaeology work back there. But over here it says specialty tours for the enslaved community tour, 11:30 to 1:30. Then they have an archaeology tour. But yeah, okay, so back there, well, I just see some pillars. Okay, well, it's closed off right now, but yeah, this was the slave cemetery. So visitor center DuPont Gallery? DuPont Gallery. I'll just look at a couple things in here, but here's Marion and William right here. Huh, if that doesn't say 1920s. Montpelier hunt races trophies. The Noel Lang steeplechase, 1937 or 57? 37, I think, dispenser. Oh, so this is Annie Rogers Zinn DuPont, oil on canvas, 1900 to 1910. Oh, there it is, yellow right there, yellow stucco. Again, pink at one time. And yeah. Like I say, look how big it is, and they have wings that go kind of back behind it. Crazy. Oh, check out this guy's mustache. Big ballroom back here. Looks like we've got plates and more trophies in here. And check out this carpet. Almost makes you afraid to walk on it. Nice marble fireplace. Gilded mirror. Oh wow. Plaster painted in gold. Nice medallion. And are those the cherubs up there? Holding plates or something? Play by candlelight. Good acoustics in here. Yeah, check this out. Very cool log holders. Just shot a lion. And she's got an urn. Looks like they're in mourning, maybe. And ashes right there. I don't know if somebody being cremated or I don't know what's going on. Smoking urn. The Red Room. And wow, lots of pictures of horses. It's kind of a lounge area. I'll just pan around. But Red Room, Miss Scott in her Art Deco room around 1975. Yeah, this entire room was carefully disassembled in 2004 as part of the restoration of the Madison home and reinstalled in this location 2006. Oh, zebra carpet. Is that real? I doubt it. Montpelier Hunt Club at Montpelier, 1936. All right, welcome center right in front of us. And I have to show off this statue of James and Dolly. Yeah, she was a full head taller than him. But reading something. Are there words in there? No. But nice statue. I don't know if this is life size. I'm taller than her and I'm not that tall. Okay, I'm headed to my car, and on the way out, I'm gonna stop at a little museum they've got set up at the train station along the tracks down there. So on the way out of here, like I said, this 1910 train depot in the time of segregation and some old farmhouses across the street. This is Constitutional Highway, Route 20. The entrance to Montpelier is just up there on the left, but here it is, old train station, the Montpelier stop. And a little exhibit on the inside. Looks like it currently serves as an active post office. Zip code 22957, Montpelier Station. And you'll see, of course, the rail line down there, colored on the right, white on the left. And it's open from 10:30 until 4 in the time of segregation. Oh, here are the floor plans. Freight room on the left, the colored and the white room on the right, and the office in the middle. So it's saying that William DuPont built the depot to upgrade passenger and freight service to Montpelier. Southern Railway, got the schedule here. Oh wow, New Orleans to New York. That's quite a trek. But yeah, Danville to Washington. All right, let me go on inside. Oh, all right. So potbelly stove right here. And exploring the Black experience. And there's the Paul Jennings, the kind of right-hand man, his main man. And he's got the cool soul patch, as I do. Map of the area. Yeah, again, right outside the entrance to Montpelier. And okay, yeah, we visited all this, Slave Cemetery, South Yard. Okay, Birth of a Nation, controversial film. Came out in 1915. And it was either written or directed by a classmate of Woodrow Wilson from Princeton, which James Madison also attended. Okay. And Horse Show and Culpeper. But yeah, here, the desk right here, I guess, I'm gonna guess you can.
The article of suffrage,
Okay.
which the convention will today adopt.
Slip in here and check out this phone. Telegraph. Moving arm. Oh, here it is, 1929. Another stove back here. One of these old-timey crank phones. Oh, sure that made some noise when it rang. All right, so similar bigger stove back here, some coal down there. And some information on the post office. Opens 1912. They're the postmasters, Eugene Lewis and Edward Young. Irvin Hall. Accounts for some box rents. Luggage, I guess. DP, DuPont. Scale right there. Oh, and that's going to be the colored side. So I guess you walk outside and I'll dip in there. It looks pretty similar. From 3 tricks to a one-man band. Oh, postmaster right here. Oh, well, here are the postmasters right here. Here's the E.H. Young, chalking up the latest train schedule. And then the Eugene Lewis, 1925. Calendar, 1927. Let me show the map right here. Richmond to Danville line. And obviously, several lines coming out of Norfolk. Let me go over to the colored side. And smaller over here. Another one of these stoves. Yeah, separate water fountains, but not as nice. All right, so Orange County witnessed the exodus of many African Americans who left the rural county in the early 20s, seeking better opportunities in urban centers. And Blue Run Baptist Church right there. And then Mount Calvary Colored School. In 1860 and 1880, the black population outnumbered the white. But then everybody went off to city centers looking for jobs. Mitchell Jackson right here in Georgia, circa 1920. And baggage receipt to the right, 1938. Even had a colored horse show. That was the inside of the train station. Montpelier flag stop, and train service first came to Montpelier 1880 when the rail line from Orange to Charlottesville was completed. And steam engine right here, 1905, Pacific type 462. And wow, this was the primary locomotive for Southern Railway passenger trains. Milepost 88.8 right here, 1919. All right, so you see the depot up on the right, milepost 88.8. And this picture is from 1919. Oh, so that green building right across the street that we first saw, that was the station agent residence with a privy right next to it. Huh. And yeah, takes you on up to Orange. Oh, and they still have the Montpelier sign right there on the ground. Old Esso station. Yeah, all right, so Lafayette was here November 15th to 19th, 1824, discussing slavery and religious liberty with Madison, and returned 1825. So the Madison Barber Rural Historic District, and it encompassed 32,000 acres. Wow, okay, of the Piedmont, and has been inhabited for more than 12,000 years, and contains almost 200 identified prehistoric architectural sites. That's gonna wrap it up. And anybody coming from out of town, remember Charlottesville is just 25 miles away. Visit Monticello. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna hit the road. So as always, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.